Hey, and we're back, and it is time for, what's it time for? Politics?
It's howdy doody time.
Is it? It's time for the Excuse me, Rick. So Dr. Whaley goes with Peck and all the thing. You go howdy doody. We're at Circuit World in Blue Ridge. Beautiful Friday morning. I don't want to hear it, folks. I know you're watching the computer weather model. We all have them on our phone, and we track it as it moves and everything, and we do our hour by hour. But what did Dr. Whaley says? It rains, 5 minutes later, sun's shining, right?
Yep.
So get on up here and enjoy the North Georgia mountains with us this beautiful holiday weekend, 3 days, and we're at Circuit World here with JR. Rick, how you doing, babe?
I'm good. Kind of a crazy week, but traveling all over the place.
Yes, you have.
A lot of action this week.
A lot of action.
I don't know that I'm going to add much.
Oh no, I was expecting you to bring it home. I really have nothing. We have nothing.
I got nothing. All right.
Well, what do we got? Do we have some
We'll figure something out. We'll figure something out.
Okay, so let's go with this. And it's not exactly a news story. How let's see, the betting against America, is that not getting old? Because polling is showing that American people are tired of all this.
I agree. To see the Democrats yesterday just reveling in the fact that that meeting was canceled, and then just pouncing on Trump as ill prepared. He's not fit for the job. I mean, they go right down.
Joe Scarborough and them, and I didn't mean to interrupt you. This morning at 6 a.m., they go right into it's a good thing. Like they were almost trying to make you feel like they were showing support for the president and his decision. They went into, it's a good thing he canceled this, and they didn't blame him, but he was ill prepared, wasn't ready, and it would have been a disaster. So this is the best thing that could have happened. Can you people have a day where you don't bet against this country?
Right. Wasn't that a point that you were trying to make on the show one day? Just have one day you're not hammering the president about something. Just one day.
Pick a day, any day.
I know. Did they miss the statement by Pompeo that he said we were ready to rock? Our team had been preparing for this. Menendez asked him the question in that Senate committee meeting. He said, did you guys have a clue as to what you were going to do when you went over there? And he said, yeah, we had a team put together. We've been working on this. His exact words, we were ready to rock. Did they miss that? Did they miss that point?
I'm not shocked by this. I wasn't over the top. I still feel, well, they don't discuss any forward direction whatsoever. I mean, there's 3 freed Americans. On any given day, was that life just not? I mean, we realize life itself has no value to some of these people.
Right.
Okay, so the value of those 3 Americans, obviously, that came home with Mike Pompeo, just okay. That's
what in your mind is the causation? What do you think? You think it's just Koreans being Koreans? I don't think that's the case. I think there's a nervousness. I ask you a question, then I give you my opinion. What is your?
No, go ahead.
I think there's a nervousness on the part of China that they are scared that there might be a unified Korea.
Correct. They don't want it now.
I think that's the crux of
when you say that you got causation. You got the variables. So you've got South. You've got the president of the United States saying we're not interested in changing. We'll give you dictator security. That's a new term. Yeah, dictator security. Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean we'll give you regime
exactly
continuity.
You do whatever you want. Okay. But the reality is, I think Kim Jong-un is in fear. He's at a crossroads in North Korea. No matter what the talking heads want to come out and tell you. the people are in what they call them gulags. What do they call those? You know, they've been thrown in there. They're hungry. These people are hungry. What is it?
They're in the dark at night.
They're in the dark at night? That's true. I mean, you've read the accounts of pilots seeing the difference of where it's pitch dark.
No infrastructure.
No infrastructure. Health-wise, are they an average of 3 inches shorter, if not more, than South Koreans?
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. There's an average of the North Korean people. The South Korea is here. North Korea is here,
which is a direct result of malnutrition.
If you will Google that, there is an actual statistic that North Koreans are an average of 3 inches shorter than South Koreans.
Malnutrition.
All right, exactly. By all. And the variable is, I think Kim Jong-un is excited, and I make it as a joke, to get the new Chevy. You know, it's like winning the Super Bowl. Remember when the quarterback used to get the new Cadillac? I think Trump's thrown in a Chevy for the guy, okay? That's a joke, but I think he's excited to get in the new Chevy, and I think he's excited that they're going to get him a new plane, and the bullet train's going to get an upgrade. I mean, all those things, jokingly or not, I think he's excited, but then in understanding him in a way, he probably has some fear of his people saying, this is okay, but you've been treating us like garbage.
Yeah.
So right now he can be the hero for his people, or it could backfire and his people could say, wait a minute, you mean this was out there all along? I don't know.
Well, I mean, right now what's backfired is, you got people angry in South Korea at Trump.
Are they?
Well, they're protesting.
Yeah, but we have our media, and they are a free, open society there in South Korea, and we have our media, and if we had 100 people inside supporting something and 5 people were outside with signs, the media would be up here talking about the protest. So I'm not going to say that they're not protesting, but the president of South Korea was just here 2 days ago.
Well, he got blindsided too. I think he felt betrayed. I think that's just my.
You think so?
I'm a
firm believer that Trump is not as spontaneous as people want to make it out to be. I'm not a believer that he just got up yesterday and penned the letter because he didn't have anything else to do.
No, you're right.
I'm a believer that, I listened to Pompeo yesterday, and Pompeo said for 16 months, things have gone away in this State Department or the CIA with intelligence. Nothing's catching him off guard. So I'm not of the opinion of the media that, yes, does Trump send a tweet just to ruin Joe Scarborough's weekend? Yes, he does. Does Trump just send a tweet saying, hey, if I call somebody an animal, they won't shut up for 4 days?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does
4.
that.
Yeah.
All right, he does that. But if you'll notice, when policy like this, will he send a tweet and get everything all worked up about China and tariffs? But the reality is, Wilbur Ross, Mnuchin, a team has gone over to China. They've been working together on the trade, right? They're trying to do something methodically, not spontaneous, right? They're trying to work something out.
Why do you think that advance team got stiffed? We had people over in Singapore waiting to meet with, they had kumbaya, and they said, well, we'll get this prepared, we'll send an advance team to meet you guys.
But they are who they are. They are who they are.
Do you think it's just him playing the art of the deal? Just at the last minute, seeing what else he can get?
We give North Korea too much credit for having their own advance team. This is not an advanced country, and we are set up, and we are the United States of America, and we have 50,000 people that work in the State Department, and we have advanced team A and advanced team B, and they go here, and this team does this, and this team does that, and this team is set up to talk about trade. When we go to sit, a lot of people don't realize, when we go to, let's say we go sit down with Russia, okay? the president of the United States and Putin, God forbid he ever sit down with them because they go crazy, but if they sit down, what a lot of people don't realize is there's an advanced team. There's a team that if you can go around, sir, if you can go around that way. There's a team that goes over that is economically structured. There's a team that goes over and talks about trade. There's several different teams that are meeting with their people in their areas at the same time. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we give too much credit to North Korea for even having an advanced team. Okay?
Yeah, well, they obviously don't have a Secretary of State department.
They don't have all that.
Yeah.
So when you say their advanced team didn't show up, and that's what the media says, we're talking about a guy that killed his half brother, poisoned him, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe he got mad on Tuesday at two of the guys that were on the advanced team, and they didn't. I don't know how silly that sounds, but do you?
No, you know what?
Saying?
You just hit home for me when you said, you know, we're giving them too much credit. You're probably right. I mean, they don't even leave the borders.
Exactly.
They don't leave the country.
Yeah, we're like their advanced team didn't show up. You know, the last time they
might be sitting back there going, "Oh, geez, we need to show up with the advanced team. What is that?"
You know what? You and I, they could be making fun of us out there, but I do think there's a lot of truth to it. I think like last week they were. It's not like they have. You know, it's not like they have a Congress, and it's not like they have committees and intel committees and things like that.
No, you're right.
We get too wrapped up. We have these things, and so you know they may have been over there last week saying, "Who wants to be on the advanced team? Raise your hand."
And everybody's sitting on their hands.
I don't want to go.
I am going over there.
Okay, who wants to go on the advanced team and come back and give him bad news?
Yeah, that's right.
Shoot his ass. I don't know, but do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes sense.
We are giving, and I don't want to brag about us to a point of being developed country, but we're giving this country, they don't know how to do summits. They don't know how to go to these things. I mean, this guy, the first time he left across the border was he went to China in a bullet train, right?
Yeah. It may be as simple as he just doesn't want to look foolish. It may be that simple.
I don't know. But I'm not going to make all this out of it that the media is. So,
well, they got to have something to talk about.
Well, I'm not worried that...
You know, they're blasting all over the TV today that North Korea remains open to talks. Why don't they just go get it done? I don't know. Maybe.
Listen, North Korea wanted to look good with the world. This is bottom line. They wanted to look good in the world. They wanted to look like they were coming to the table. They let 3 Americans go. They wanted to look like they were doing everything they could. They wanted to make it look like they were destroying this nuclear test facility and inviting reporters in that hadn't happened. They went to China. They met with South Korea, but Trump screwed it up. Mike Pence said something ugly. Pompeo said something ugly, and Pence said something ugly, and they tried. That's what they want to make it look like. Now, the damn thing that really burns me is that's what they want to look like, and then they got these jerks like Schumer and Pelosi that are agreeing with them.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
They would much rather see him.
So, if you want to wrap up the North Korean deal, this guy made it look like he stepped out and did everything. And then, you know, Pence said something he didn't like, and Pompeo said something, and Trump said something, and he's sitting there, I tried. All right, bull. And then Nancy Pelosi said, Nancy Pelosi said he's probably having a giggle fit. I tell you what, folks, don't get me started. Let's go to something else. You got anything else? Yeah. I mean, daggone it.
Yeah, let's just leave it that North Korea is way underdeveloped, and they just don't know what they're doing. Let's just leave it at that. Let's lose the conspiracy theories that it's all China's fault, it's all this guy's fault, it's all that guy's fault. They don't know how to do it.
I think a unified Korea they don't want.
They don't.
I understand that. They don't want that.
It's a long border.
And if all of a sudden South Korea and North Korea are friends, okay, and if all of a sudden they take the border down and trucks from South Korea start taking goods and services up to North Korea.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, if North Korea is sitting there and they disarm and South Korea is sitting with our military ready, what's the buffer? Okay, so China is a big play. But I guess what we could say before we move on is this was a created situation because we knew the parts: China, South Korea, North Korea, Japan, and I don't see anybody else doing anything for 8 years and 24 years. And the last 8 years, Barack Obama never brought it up. It was like, North Korea?
Where?
What? Where's that at?
Yeah.
So point being is Trump's okay with it. Let's so the spying on the president.
You think?
Spygate.
Spygate. You gotta love it. Jeez.
What say you?
Where do you start?
Well, we talked about it yesterday, Cheryl Atkinson,
Yeah.
and it is now 2 days old, but she laid out a very good 8-point.
Yep, I got every one of
You
them
got
written
everyone?
down.
She laid out a very good 8 points to this whole investigation.
Pointing to the fact, 8 points pointing to the fact that they did in fact spy on him. Correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yep.
Well, and the thing is I forget the words. I had it this morning, but Trump says spy. This is where I can't take the media. All right. Trump said wiretap, and I know people have watched the show. They're tired of me saying this, but the media came out and made fun of Trump when he said Trump Tower was wiretapped.
Right.
Because wiretapping is a term that was used several years ago, decades ago.
It conjures up somebody down in a phone room
right,
with headphones on, clipping
the alligator
clips
like
on, going,
apartment C.
Yeah, I got you.
Or the old FBI, you watch the old shows and the FBI's got the sonic thing on the van that says TV repair, right? The TV repair, and there's 2 FBI guys in there and there's tapes running, right?
Big reel-to-reel.
Yeah, exactly, reel-to-reel tape. So when Trump said wiretapping, they totally made fun of the guy.
Yeah. So if you think he picks up his shoe and turns the heel and goes,
okay.
"Hello, Chief."
Hello, Chief. Chaos. It's like chaos. But what's on your notes for wiretap?
Well, I mean, the first one was the code name.
Yes.
Crossfire Hurricane.
Crossfire Hurricane.
Yeah.
Code name Crossfire Hurricane.
Yep. And then there's the wiretap fixation.
Now she did show the wiretap, the surveillance. She showed it very clearly in that article, the surveillance.
Yeah.
That they did.
And they started it well before any of these guys that have been charged, like General Flynn. They started the wiretap on him before he even met with the Russian.
6 months? Was it 6 months
Yeah,
before?
something like that.
Yeah, 6 months
in
before.
2016, I think it was. They got the national security letters, which is a methodology by which the FBI can go around the judicial process. Right. And, who initiated that? Who started that? Mueller, when he was FBI director.
National security letters is exactly what they can go around. They can go around a court order.
Right.
So if it is, and Rick may be able to give you better detail or clarification, but when the national security, they write a letter, and it's a gray area that allows them to go all the way around the court system to actually do surveillance. They can use it to do surveillance on you, wiretap,
and they use national security,
right, as a front,
as
the guys to get in, and they bypass the courts.
Yep.
So that was shown that they use national security letters, which in national security letters you get names that pop up like Clapper, you get names that pop up like Brennan, so you get these kind of names pop up from something that Mueller created, right? National security letters Mueller created while at the FBI. He created these. You get names like Clapper and Brennan that get in the mix of this national security. It gets over to a guy like a Comey that bypasses the courts and is doing surveillance.
You bring up Clapper.
Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. You bring up Clapper and you bring up Brennan. They're still, they're one of them's employed by MSNBC. One of them's employed by
Brennan.
CNN.
Clapper, CNN. Brennan,
yeah.
it's right there. It says media strategy.
Media
They
strategy.
had a
They're still shaping
Right.
the news.
Right.
You know, these are the guys that leaked the dossier thing to CNN.
Absolutely.
And then all of a sudden he turns up with a contract and he's their spokesperson now.
Yeah, but then also Clapper lied to Congress when he talked about do they capture your information?
Right.
And he was caught lying on that.
Those two guys
Right.
are really, really, really evil.
They're dirty. Dirty. But the interesting thing is in that article, the media strategy. There's a media strategy. So Brennan ends up an MSNBC paid analyst, and Clapper ends up a CNN paid analyst.
Right. Yeah, how does that figure, right? Then you got all the unmasking. That was another point. That was one of the 8. You got all the unmasking going on. So, I mean, Rice.
Right.
And then they changed.
Powers.
Then they changed the rules to. They changed the rules to have less oversight, so that the unmasking was okay.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Can you explain? I mean, I try to, and I stumble. I'll admit that. Can you explain unmasking to the public?
Well, it's when you have a redaction, and in order.
But wait a minute. Because it's an international communication. When Americans make an international communication, right?
Okay, that you know better than I then.
Well, what it is if they can do surveillance, okay, if you have international communication with international governments or anything like that, and if you're a private citizen, they'll listen in, not always, all right, but then they cannot unmask your name of who you are. So I can't find out. They cannot unmask your name as a private citizen. So only certain people, because this is where I get to, and it has to do with international communications. Remember when Comey was there, and to me the famous Trey Gowdy questioning of who has the power to unmask. Remember that?
Oh, sure.
All right.
He went through
list
line
by
by
list by list. Now, they don't have the power to unmask. They have the power to request for unmask, and the FBI gives it to him. Remember he asked if Susan Rice, Samantha Powers, James Clapper, right? He went through all of them.
He already knew the answer.
He already knew the answer. So the unmasking of American citizens' names, and then we find out, was it Powers or Susan Rice that was almost making daily requests?
Powers.
Powers was almost making daily requests.
As a UN ambassador, wasn't she a UN ambassador?
Yes, exactly.
And you know what is she doing? That's just amazing that she would do that.
Folks, let's take a brief break, and then Rick and I will come back, and we got about 30 minutes left before it's time for our Pet of the Week, and we'll get a new direction going, and right after these messages.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on-site by our jewelers, and North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Had the time of my life. I never felt like this before. I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you. I'll tell you something. This could be love, because I've had the time of my life. I've never felt like this before, 'cause I've had the time of my life.
Hey, we're back, and I am BKP, and I'm here with Rick, and it's time for our all-star panel. Bruce is still traveling, so if you'd ever, if you are interested at any time being a part of our panel, don't hesitate. Send us a message at 706-889-9700 or email at chief@fetchernews.com. Say, I'd like to be a part of the panel. We'll get in touch with you, and you know, if you meet the criteria, Rick and I will review everything. And
Hey, Jane sent us a text this morning.
Good morning, Jane. Right?
Good morning, Jane.
So we'll go through the, you know, check, you know, everything out.
Yeah.
Might have you on the panel.
Hey, what about local politics? We got some runoffs coming up, huh?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Let's talk just a minute, and then we can get back into national.
24th of July, is that correct?
24th of July. And, you know, here's the interesting thing. We talked about this the other day. We have a governor's race here in Georgia. We have a governor's race here in Georgia, and that is the only one that actually made national news. Okay, now there's a lot of races out there, but Georgia, our governor's race, they're highlighting it for a couple reasons, okay? First of all, I love it because on, you know, let me tell you who the Republicans are. Okay. The Republicans are the Wile
Coyote
and Roadrunner cartoon.
Meep.
Roadrunner cartoon. So the media runs down the road, okay, and paints a sign on a tunnel, the fake tunnel on the mountain, and the Republicans run at it, and every time they think, oh my God, the media likes us, they get slammed right into the wall because the tunnel is fake.
It's the light at the tunnel.
Do you understand?
Is the train coming at them, right?
And it never ends. There's always a group of Republicans that thinks the media likes them.
So is the media then Acme at the Acme, the Acme media?
Right. And they got, you know, these liberal people, and the Republicans chase them down through there, and then always bang into the wall. My point is, if there is
one,
once again in Georgia, I do feel there's been several Republicans that feel the liberal media like them, and they don't, no matter where you're at. And of all places, Atlanta is big liberal media. They do not like these Republicans, believe it or not. Point being, because there is one, what did they do election night? They immediately went into the praises. We talked about this, didn't we, Amanda? Election night, 5 minutes after it was called that Stacey Abrams is the nominee for the Democrats to run for governor.
I believe Amanda brought that to
New York Times.
Brought that to the table.
Yep, New York Times, all of them immediately. First major party nomination for the biggest office by a African American female, blah blah blah. Okay, and the second.
Is that a complete description?
No, I'm leaving it off. It's Friday. I'm leaving the LGBTQ community alone today. What?
We've got a running bet at home over some Stacey Abrams stuff going right now, and it includes Texas Roadhouse and $1,000.
Texas Roadhouse. You got to get in on that.
Wow.
How you get in?
I want to get in on this pool.
I can't discuss it on air though.
All right. Okay. So anyhow, but immediately they did that. The history again has been made.
Oh, the glass ceiling might be broken.
Right? And then they started writing these glowing articles of Democrats unifying together. Stacey Evans came out immediately. Then on the other side of the coin is Brian Kemp, Casey Cagle, and they are doing everything to try to separate the Republican Party and so on and so forth. So we have a runoff here in Georgia.
Right.
Casey Cagle, Brian Kemp, what do you think?
I think it's going to be a whole lot tighter than people think.
Agreed.
I think that a lot of the votes that went to all of those other three candidates, I think a lot of them, especially Hunter Hills, are going to slide toward Kemp.
Okay, I tell you what I did. I like to partake of the cheap cigar in the afternoons when available. Sorry, don't try that at home, kids. And so after Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, for the last 2 days, I spent a good portion of my afternoon phone call. I mean, I rolled out in 2 days 20 phone calls around the state, different people connected in different areas. I have a 45-minute phone call with someone yesterday that is so high up the chain. That's the only way I could put it. All right, and I can't go any further than that. But
it's an undisclosed source, folks.
Undisclosed source. It means they were in a bar drinking. I was standing next to him going like this, right? Did you hear that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the undisclosed source is the guy that was drinking, got the bowl of loudmouth soup, and I was like this. So anyhow, but the consensus in the conversations and the calls I made is Casey Cagle came out originally in upper 40s, as they were talking. He was in 42,
46,
whatever, right? He never moved the needle. He spent $5 million. He's got to like $9 million. He spent almost $5 million. Okay, he spent as much as his campaign spent in the primary. Casey Cagle's is almost combined with all of the other opponents, and didn't move the needle. Went down. That's being talked. So what he does, do you understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
Spent almost $5 million, did not move the needle, and it went down. Okay? If he would have come in 41, I know that just sounds 2%, but to come in 39, the needle actually dropped from the anticipated the media had him blowed up in the 40s. This is where I don't trust the media. The media had him blowed up in the 40s. I think they set him up to be up there. So when he did, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't mean to be the naysayer, but I mean, don't you think that happens a lot? You know, you've got this candidate out there that is just off the chart, leading, and then as it gets closer to election day,
It does balance out. That's
it
true.
tends to get closer.
It does, but the thing is I think a lot of people are looking at what was spent by him. It didn't move the needle,
Well, that could be. That's true.
and the needle went down from the anticipated number.
I think it was the color of the suit.
You think it's the color of the suit?
That blue suit that he was wearing.
I don't know. It wasn't nice, Rick.
No, I know.
We're trying to stay focused.
No, I know. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. Anyway, so
It was a bad joke.
well,
No,
what
it's
did you
just-
find
I
out?
tell a lot of bad
did-
jokes. Here, look who's talking, right?
Okay, did you get a consensus that the Hill supporters were going to gravitate toward Kemp? Or did you get any feel for that?
Yes, but I tell you what I did get. I mean, Casey Cagle's camp immediately released the letter that I read 2 days ago. They immediately released a letter, Casey Cagle's camp, saying, hey, Hunter Hill voters, Clay Tippin voters, Michael Williams, even include Michael Williams voter, we need to talk. We want to talk to you. You know, hey, you know, let's start a dialogue. And that wasn't quote what the letter said, but let's start a dialogue. So they did reach out immediately. Now, if I missed it by the Kemp campaign, I'm sorry, but I'm on all the email lists. I did not see that letter come out from the Kemp campaign. I'm not saying they're not asking for that vote, reaching out.
I mean, what Cagle allegedly did in the final days of with the media blitz against Hill.
I think it's a given. I think it's a given the Hunter Hill vote moves to Kemp.
I do too.
I think it's a given that the Michael Williams vote moves to Kemp. Now, Michael Williams was his 5%, regardless of what it was, it's 5%. Very conservative, very conservative, very conservative. But I think they'll come out and vote, but they'll come out and vote for Kemp. So
And I think the other guy, your buddy,
Tippins.
I think he moves to Cagle.
That is to me, that's the wild card in the race, is where does Tippins' votes go? Okay, where do they go? And I tell you the other thing, who are these 12%? Because he got 12% of the vote, and it had to be Metro Atlanta vote, because it wasn't rural Georgia. If you go back and look,
No, they don't even know him.
huh?
They don't even know him.
They don't even know
He
him.
has zero name recognition.
Right. And the other thing that Kemp did very well at, Kemp did well in rural Georgia. I mean, if you look up through here, I'm not going to say 50%, but there's a lot of these counties on 515 that Kemp and Cagle are pretty much neck and neck.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm not for sure. I will say this, and it's not that I'm trying to get.
I think, let me just throw something in
Go
here.
for it.
We talked about name recognition. I think Kemp has got better name recognition than Cagle does. Statewide.
You want my prediction? I know it's the 24th. Now wait, I want my prediction to have an asterisk next to it. All right, I'm not wrong. Circumstances change.
Yeah, right.
Where corrections need to be made.
Uh-huh.
Oh, don't get like that.
Okay.
With me. Yeah. Circumstances change where corrections need to be made.
Should we
Now,
write the exact circumstances that would qualify for the asterisk?
Okay,
That'd put that back into the corner
But
too
I
much, wouldn't
think
it?
you were traveling and you didn't get a chance to watch my day after election show.
No, I did not.
But
I
now,
was-
Amanda, you're my witness. I admitted I made a big personal mistake when I did the numbers, that I broke my own rule of not allowing my personal feelings towards a candidate.
I did see that. I went back.
Yeah,
I went
yeah,
back
all
because
right.
I needed,
And I said-
folks. I needed to see him admit an error. So I went back and I
That
reviewed.
wasn't what I did.
I reviewed
Well, I
that
did.
show. Yes,
but
you
I
did.
gave, yes, but I broke my own rule. I allowed my personal feelings for a candidate to skew my estimate and prediction.
And that happened at least twice, correct?
Yeah, but that bothered me. Where's the second time?
Do you want me to tell him?
Go for it. If you go for it.
Well, I mean, I think you put a lot more faith into the insurance commission race.
Correct. But I have an out on that.
He's got an asterisk for everything.
Yeah, I got an out on that. You got anything? No, I was on the insurance commissioner's race. I was knocked out of the box. I'm not happy with the result. Let's put it like that. But I was knocked out of the box that Jim Beck got 60%.
Right.
That shocked me.
Yeah.
But I will say, whether you want to call it a winner or not, this Tracy Jordan, a no name in politics, no money.
Registered pharmacist, correct?
Registered pharmacist.
Yeah.
Didn't have the money. She actually almost went vote for vote with Jay Florence, and Jay Florence had $1 million insurance, lobbyists, political action committees, and Jay Florence didn't get much over 20, and she got 19, and he got 20%.
Well,
So
you had the
her.
benefit of conducting that.
Yes, I did a debate.
Debate in Dawsonville, I think. Right?
I'm shocked that Florence did not do any better. Jay Florence, with $1 million in the bank of lobbyists, special interest groups, political action committees, and she had $100 here and there, and she went toe to toe with him.
Yeah.
So that, and I am shocked. And the other one that got me is Secretary of State. I was shocked that Josh McCoon was not second, not first, but second. That one caught me off guard. David Belle-Isle, the former mayor of Alpharetta, right? I talked to somebody yesterday. I said, I'm caught off guard by that, and they said they were too. They're also caught off guard, but they said you might not know it because you were working on other campaigns, keeping up with them, but he worked very hard.
And so he was very well liked.
That's what they said. They said he did work very hard. Now let me get back to the governor's race. Let's say the race is today. It's today, because that's the asterisk it has to be, because there's a lot of space between now and the 24th. Something could happen. Okay, so let's call this early voting. This is the reason you don't early vote.
So you're not talking about the governor's race you're talking about the results of the runoff.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm getting ready to give you, if the race is today.
All right, drum roll, please.
Okay. Casey Cagle, this is my opinion. Casey Cagle, it is a runoff. The winner of the runoff is generally the candidate that can get their voters back to the poll. That's your focus. When you finish an election and you're in a runoff, the first thing you do is identify your voters, who are your voters, and your first focus is to ask them to come back. Don't go after anybody else's voter until you get yours to come back. That's A, okay, when you're running a campaign. Now, here's where this race is interesting. Casey Cagle got 39%. Now, if you think the turnout for the primary was low, you wait till July 24th. It will be what I call this super voter. It's going to be a low turnout. So Casey Cagle got 39% of the vote. If Casey Cagle can get 37 of that 39% back to the poll to say, I still say pull the lever, back to the poll to say Casey Cagle, he will be the Republican nominee. So if he goes out right now, identifies the 39%, who are they, who voted for him, and pour all of his resources in getting those people to go back and vote, he will be the nominee, period, even if it's 37% of that vote back. Brian Kemp, on the other hand, has to get all 25%. Then he has to convince Hunter Hill's voters or other voters to come back. So will it be tight? Yes. Does Brian Kemp have a little harder road? Because here's the thing. I have heard so many people, you voted for Hunter Hill, not you literally, but you voted for Hunter Hill, and I've heard so many people say, my candidate lost. I'm going to the lake. Okay?
Yep.
If the groundswell will be enough out of the Hunter Hill, Michael Williams voters to come back and help Kemp.
Kemp has got a really...
You understand my analogy?
Yeah.
Cagle needs no help. He needs his voters. Kemp needs his voters and a little
and the
help.
other ones.
Right.
Yep.
So
gotcha.
That's if the election's today.
Okay. Very nice.
Agree or disagree?
I agree.
We have some local runoffs. One I know. Switching so many gears, and people are tired of it. I'm so proud of this Tucker Green, this 20-year-old kid that's now on the Board of Education.
Yeah.
Down in Pickens County.
Right.
We are so proud of him, and he is somebody that just, you know, when you sit down, you look at hope for the future of some outstanding politicians that might be out there. This young man. We have a runoff here in Fannin County in Post 2 Commissioner. We've got a runoff in Board of Education. We've got several. Secretary of State is a runoff between Brad Rathensperger. There's Sperger. There's no, I gotta say it fast. There's no B. And David Bell. That's Secretary of State David Bell. David Schaefer, I gotta give it to him. 47 or 48%. He was just right on the edge of hitting that 50% mark, but didn't do it. So he'll be running against Jeff Duncan. Anything you see in the political world in the state that?
Hats off to Carleen Ferguson, right? She crushed it.
Yeah. Well, 61%. Now here's an interesting thing. Let's put this question out. Not to be controversial.
We've never done that before, folks.
No, but let's put the question out. Okay. Let's say. I want your opinion on this. Okay, so Gilmer County, and this is something you need to pay attention to the entire United States. So, a former commissioner in Gilmer County decided they were going to run again. I'm running for office, okay? So they go and qualify, all right? They go and qualify. Now, when they qualify, they decide a little time after that, a couple weeks later, I don't want to do it, and they withdraw. Should there be a different way or a certain way to take their name off the ballot if they withdraw, so your vote's not wasted, and make sure if they withdraw, their name's gone? Now here's the reason why. Carleen won 61% of the vote against Jerry Tuso and Woody Jensen, okay? But she won 61% of the three-way vote. But when the citizens of Gilmer County went to vote, Danny Hall's name was on the ballot.
Okay.
Now, there was a disclaimer written there on the door, and that disclaimer said, you know, it's real small, Danny Hall, and not that the election people think Danny Hall is no longer a candidate. But I didn't even see that. I just knew Danny wasn't running. But there was 4 options. You could have voted for Danny. Now what happened? Danny became the second highest vote getter.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
But the state says his votes don't count. Now he doesn't want them to count. I spoke to Danny Hall. Danny and I had a conversation. His votes don't count. But the lady that got the top vote, Carleen Ferguson, Danny actually got the second highest. Because people didn't really realize or see the disclaimer that he wasn't on the ballot. So,
again, name recognition, right?
Right.
Maybe that's the only name that's the only guy I know, only person I know.
But he is saying that if you took that and rejuggled it out, she didn't get 61%. She may have been in a runoff. May have. So that's an interesting thing. Should they do everything to get the name off the ballot?
I don't know. The rules are the rules.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, we've got just a couple minutes. It's time for our Pet of the Week that's coming in. Rick, winners, losers, closers, what didn't we say, what didn't we talk about?
Let's see. President Trump just got on an airplane. He's going to go give the commencement speech at the Naval Academy. That's pretty cool. I think he'll get a warm reception. You know, I'm going to let you continue with what you have, but you know, commencement speeches, we're missing Bill Cosby this year, Matt Lauer. Let's see, who else are we missing on commencement? Well, I'll tell you who else we're missing. We're missing my loser of the week. Charlie Rose. We're missing Charlie Rose is not on there. We're missing my loser of the week, which is Harvey Weinstein. I mean, this guy is going to get excoriated when he's brought up on charges. I think. Yeah, he turned himself in to the New York Police Department. I just think that this guy is going to get beat pillar to post. Oh, yeah. But anyway, and my winner, who we talked about earlier, is Cheryl Atkinson. She did a bang-up job for The Hill, writing that article. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just I keep going back to my 2 favorites right now, Cheryl Atkinson and Kimberly Strassel. Those two ladies are brilliant. Yes, you should. We recommend, Rick and I both will recommend to you,
keep up with Cheryl Atkinson and Kimberly Strassel of the Washington Post.
Yep.
Okay, but keep up with those two. They are probably doing
Wall Street Journal.
Wall Street Journal. Kimberly Strassel, Wall Street Journal. They are doing probably the best work right now in actually what has taken place. Cheryl Atkinson wrote the article that we're talking about, where the 8 points, and it actually lays out a lot to you.
I mean, it's a quick read. If you missed it, go to the Hill, look under Cheryl Atkinson, read that. It's really informative, and you did a great job the other day, by the way, describing the definition of the deep state. So, I mean, you did a great job.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Okay, folks, I don't have any winners and losers. My winners are the class of 2018. Whether you're graduating from college,
big night tonight, right?
Whether you're graduating from high school, that is our winner here. It's of my opinion, you have the brightest opportunities in front of you. I can't remember a graduating class either on the college level or high school level that is going to be able to walk out and obtain and go after the American dream, because it's out there, folks. Okay, and please just my recommendation: turn off the media that's betting against the nation. Don't worry, journalism, media should be investigating. They should be looking into. They should be stepping out there and going into uncharted waters and bringing us information, but not betting against our nation. So you know who they are out there. Turn it off. You got a final word? You get the final word. Word, 2, 3. Come on, what you got?
I did my winner and loser.
Oh, you're done. Okay.
I'm done.
All right. We're
nice
finished.
to be here.
We're finished, but that does not mean the show is over. Stay here just a couple minutes, because it's time for the Humane Society of Blue Ridge, our pet of the week. Yes, so you had another word. What do you have?
Art in the Park this weekend.
Arts in the Park.
Arts in the Park. Come on out. 2 days, Saturday, Sunday. The weather's going to be fabulous.
Okay, that's it.
That's it.
Cut him off. Will you get the pet of the week in?